Virgo, between reason and intuition, what does destiny want to show you? Understand, something is trying to reach you, something important, something that could change everything. But it doesn't come in a form you trust. It doesn't come in data. It doesn't come in logic. It doesn't come in analysis. It comes in a whisper, in a hunch, in a strange feeling you can't explain. And what do? You ignore it. You discard it. You rationalize it until it disappears because it doesn't make sense. There's no proof. It can't be verified. And if it can't be explained, then it can't be real. It's what you've learned. It's what you've always believed. It's how it's always worked. But what if? What if this time, this specific time, are you wrong? What if what you need to know, what destiny is trying to show you, can only come through what you most distrust, through intuition, through feeling, through knowing that doesn't come from thinking? What if you ignore it this time? It costs more than you imagine, more than you can calculate, more than reason can predict. Because there are things that reason cannot reach, that logic cannot capture, that analysis cannot reveal. And these things, they are exactly what you need most right now. So breathe and allow it. Allow me to show you the war raging inside you, the war between head and heart, between thinking and feeling, between reason and intuition, and show me what's at stake, what you lose if reason wins again, and what you gain if you finally allow intuition to speak, and you listen. A silent war. You are at war, and you don't even realize it. An internal war, constant, between two forces. Reason on one side, strong, dominant, reliable. Intuition on the other, weak, ignored, distrusted. And reason wins, always wins, because you gave it power, all the power, because reason makes sense. Reason can be explained. Reason protected you before, from mistakes, from pain, from bad decisions. So you trust it completely. And intuition? You treat intuition as an enemy, as deception, as emotion disguised as wisdom, and you silence it, repeatedly, consistently, until intuition stops trying, stops speaking, stops offering, and you are left with reason alone, with logic alone, with exclusive analysis. And it seems like victory, it seems like wisdom, it seems like strength, but it's loss, enormous loss. Why reason? Reason only sees what it already knows. It only processes what it can measure. It only understands what it can explain. And life? Life is bigger than that, much bigger. There are things that reason doesn't see, cannot see, because they aren't logical. They aren't measurable. They aren't explainable. They are felt, they are perceived, they are known, in a way that you can't articulate, in a way that you can't prove, but they are real as anything that reason proves. And these things, intuition sees, intuition feels, intuition knows, and tries to tell you, tries to show you, tries to guide you. But you don't listen, because you don't trust, because it doesn't make sense, because it can't be verified. And opportunities, they pass. Connections, they are lost. Paths, they close, because you waited for reason to agree. You waited for logic to be approved. You waited for analysis to confirm. And when it was finally approved, when it finally made sense, it was too late. The moment had passed, and you are left with a complete analysis, but with empty hands. And now it's happening again. The war is more intense. Why destiny? Destiny is trying to show you something crucial, something that can't wait, and it's using intuition. It's speaking through hunches, through sensations, through inexplicable knowing. And you're resisting, you're rationalizing, you're analyzing until you kill. And destiny is getting impatient. Why time? Time is running out. And if you don't listen, if you don't allow it, if you don't trust, you lose. Not just opportunity, but a lesson that life is trying to teach, about balance, about integration, about using both, reason and intuition, head and heart, analysis and feeling, together, not against each other. What is your intuition trying to tell you? Let's be specific, because you need to know, you need to recognize what intuition is saying, how it's saying it, and why you're not listening. First, there are people, a specific person, that intuition keeps bringing to mind, not for logical reasons, not because it makes sense, but because it appears in thoughts, in dreams, in random moments, and you dismiss it. It's a coincidence. It's a random memory. It doesn't mean anything. But what if it does mean something? What if intuition is telling you this person matters, this person has something you need, or something they need from you, and ignoring it, that's losing connection, a connection that could change everything. Second, there is a path that intuition keeps pointing to. There is no logical path, no planned path, no path that analysis would approve, but the path that calls, that attracts, that makes you feel something you can't name. And reason lists 1,000 reasons not to go, to stay on the safe path, on the known path, on the path that makes sense. But intuition insists that there is something on this path, something you don't find on the logical path, something necessary, something transformative, and to ignore it, it's to stay where you are, safe, but stagnant. Third, there is a decision that needs to be made. And reason has an answer, a logical answer, a sensible answer, an answer that can be defended. But intuition has another, an answer that doesn't make sense, an answer that can't be explained, an answer that seems wrong, but feels right. And you're stuck between what makes sense and what you feel is right, between what you can defend and what you know deeply. And normally you choose reason, because it's safe, because it can be explained, because if it goes wrong, at least it had logic. But what if this time you choose differently? You choose intuition, you choose feeling over thinking, you choose inexplicable knowing over defensible logic. What happens? Fourth, there is change. Change is coming. It's not the change you planned. There are no changes you control, but the change that is arriving. And intuition senses it before it manifests, senses it before seeing signs, and tries to prepare you, tries to tell you prepare. Something is coming. But you don't listen, because there is no evidence yet, no proof, no logical reason to believe, so you don't prepare, you don't open yourself, you don't adjust. And when the change arrives, you are not ready, you are resisting, you are fighting. You are trying to control what intuition could have prepared you to flow with. Fifth, there is truth. Truth about you. Truth that you avoid. Truth that reason helps to hide. Why look at it? It requires change. It requires discomfort. It requires admitting that everything is not all right, that everything is not under control, that everything is not as it should be. And intuition knows the truth. It knows it deeply, and it keeps trying to bring it to the surface, through discomfort, through restlessness, through the feeling that something is wrong, even when everything seems right. And you rationalize the discomfort, you explain the restlessness, you ignore the feeling. Is it true? It remains buried, deeper, until it can't anymore, until it forces its way out in a more painful way, more destructive, more inevitable. Why dominate? And we need to understand why you gave so much power to reason, why you distrust intuition so much, because it's not an accident. It's not without reason. It's protection. Protection from something, from old pain, from a past mistake, from a moment where you trusted your feelings, and your feelings deceived you, led you astray, hurt you, and you decided never again to trust something that can't be proven, never again to follow something that can't be explained, never again to feel without thinking first. And you built a system where reason verifies everything, approves everything, controls everything, and it worked. For a while, it protected you. It kept you safe. It prevented you from experiencing pain, but it also helped you in life. It prevented connection. It prevented growth. It prevented magic, because these things, they don't come with guarantees. They don't come with proof. They don't come with logic. They come with risk. And you don't take risks anymore, not when you can avoid them. And here lies the problem, a problem that reason doesn't see, can't see. Why? It only sees the risk of doing. It doesn't see the risk of not doing. It doesn't see the cost of not taking risks. It doesn't see the loss of always choosing the safe option. And the costs, they are enormous. They are connections not made. They are experiences not lived. They are versions of yourself not explored. They are possibilities not realized. All because reason said, too risky. It doesn't make sense. It can't be guaranteed. And you obeyed, as you always obey. And life, it passes by, safe, controlled, small, and intuition? Intuition sees all of this. It sees cost. It sees loss. It sees unlived life. And it tries to wake you up, it tries to show you, it tries to push you, but its voice, it's so weak, so easy to ignore, so easy to rationalize, that you don't even realize it. You don't even realize you're ignoring it. You think you're being wise, you think you're being careful, you think you're protecting yourself, but you are. You're protecting yourself from life, from possibility, from everything that could be. If you allowed it, if you trusted it, if you balanced it, reason with intuition, head with heart, analysis with feeling, what does destiny want to show us? And we arrive at the core, at what truly matters. What is destiny trying to show you? What is all this tension, all this conflict, all this discomfort trying to reveal? First lesson, you are not just that. You are not just analysis. You are not just reason. You are whole. You have intuition. You have feeling. You have wisdom that doesn't come from thinking. And to deny that, to deny half of yourself, that's living half a life. And half a life, that's not life, it's survival. And you deserve more than surviving. You deserve to live, fully, completely, using everything you are, reason and intuition, together. Second lesson, control is an illusion. You never had as much as you think, you never will. And chasing control through endless analysis, through perfect preparation, through total certainty. It's impossible to chase, and in the process, you lose what is possible, what is available, what is here, now, waiting for you to let go of the need to control, and allow life to flow. Let surprises come, let the unknown reveal itself. Why surprises? They aren't always bad. The unknown, it's not always a threat, and revelation, it can be a gift, but you only discover it if you let go of control, if you trust the process, if you allow intuition to guide you. Sometimes, third lesson, there are paths that reason cannot see, paths that only intuition knows, because they are not logical, they are not direct, they are not obvious, they are tortuous, they are mysterious, they are faith, and they lead you to places that reason would never choose, but that the soul always knew, always wanted, always needed. And destiny is trying to put you on one of these paths. Now, through intuition, through premonitions, through inexplicable calls. And you are resisting, because it doesn't make sense, because it cannot be explained, because reason does not approve. But what if you allowed yourself to be guided by something beyond logic, by something deeper than analysis, by something greater than you? Fourth lesson, time is not infinite. You act as if it were, as if there were always more time to decide, more time to prepare, more time to be sure. But there isn't. There are moments, specific moments where windows open and close, and if you're not ready, if you're still analyzing, if you're still waiting, be sure, you lose, and the window, it doesn't open again, not in the same way, not with the same opportunity. And destiny is trying to tell you now, not later, not when you're ready, now, while the window is open, while the possibility is alive, while the moment is here. But you don't listen, because intuition says now, and reason says wait, and you always choose reason. Fifth lesson, you are stronger than you think, more capable, more enough, exactly as you are, without perfect preparation, without complete analysis, without total control. You can do it. You always have, even when you weren't ready, even when you weren't sure, even when you weren't in control. You navigated, you survived, you grew. And fear of not being enough without preparation, it's a lie. A lie that reason tells you, to maintain control, to keep you small, to keep you dependent on it. But intuition knows the truth. It knows you are capable. It knows you are ready. It knows you can, and it's trying to give you courage to trust in yourself, in the process, in life, how to balance the two forces. And the solution isn't abandoning reason. It's not blindly relying on intuition. It's not trading one extreme for another. It's balance. It's integration. It's using both, reason and intuition, in harmony, not at war. And how? How do you do that? First step, you acknowledge. You acknowledge that intuition exists, that it has value, that it deserves to be heard, not blindly obeyed, but listened to, considered, respected, and recognition. That's already changed. It's already opening up space where intuition can speak, where you can listen, where dialogue can happen between head and heart, between reason and feeling. Second step, you differentiate yourself. You differentiate intuition from fear, because not every feeling is intuition. Sometimes it's just fear. Fear disguised as a premonition. Fear trying to protect you, trying to keep you small. And what is the difference? Intuition expands, fear contracts. Intuition pushes you forward. Fear pulls you back. Intuition says, try, you can do it. Fear says, don't try, it's too risky. Intuition is calm, even when it's scary. Fear is chaotic, even when it seems prudent. And when do you learn the difference? You learn to trust your intuition and to question fear. Third step, you test. You test your intuition. In small things first, not in life decisions, but in daily choices. Does intuition tell you to go this way? You go, and you see what happens. Does intuition tell you to talk to this person? You talk, and you observe the result, and little by little you build trust in intuition. Through experience, through verification, through tests. There are no logical tests, but lived tests, and trust, it grows, and the voice of intuition, it becomes stronger, clearer, more reliable. Fourth step, you allow dialogue. You allow reason and intuition to converse. Not that reason silences intuition, or intuition ignores reason, but that both speak. Reason says, it doesn't make sense. Okay, listened. Intuition says, but it feels right. Okay, listened. And you weigh, not automatically choosing reason, but really thinking, considering both. And sometimes reason has a point, and you don't follow intuition. And sometimes intuition has something that reason doesn't see, and you follow it, even without it making complete sense. And balance, it comes from that consideration, from that real weighing, from that respect for both. Fifth step, you act, because understanding without action, it's useless. You can understand all of this, you can agree, you may even want to change, but if you don't act, if you don't practice, if you don't live it, nothing changes. So you act. Next time intuition speaks, you listen. You really heard it. You don't just register and discard it, but you consider it seriously. And even if you don't follow it completely, you honor it. You honor it with consideration, with respect, with openness. And next time, it gets easier. And eventually it's not war. It's partnership. Reason and intuition, working together, guiding you, completely, the final call. So here it is. Here's what destiny wants to show you. It wants you to see that life isn't just logic, it's not just analysis, it's not just what can be proven. There's more, much more, and you have access to it. Access through intuition, through feeling, through knowing that you don't need an explanation. And to use it, to use this part of yourself, it's not weakness, it's not naivete, it's not abandoning reason. It's wholeness, it's using everything you are, everything you have, everything that is available. And from this wholeness comes better decisions, comes a richer life, comes a more whole you. And the moment is now, not later, not when you fully understand. Now, while intuition is speaking, while hunches are coming, while destiny is calling. Because if you wait, If you need more proof, if you demand that it makes sense, you lose. You lose what intuition is trying to give you, what destiny is trying to show you, what life is trying to teach you. So don't wait. Don't analyze until you kill. Don't rationalize until it disappears. You listen, you feel, you allow, and you act, not blindly, but consciously, choosing to trust in the part of you that always knew, always felt, always had access to wisdom that reason cannot reach. But what about intuition? Intuition always had it, waiting for you to listen. Finally,